Hi there, I'm Emma. I'm a kettlebell coach and trainer who has herniated discs in my spine. I, at one point, was in so much pain I could barely walk or do my job, and now today, sitting in front of you, I am pain-free. So I want to share with you my journey in hopes that it offers some inspiration and hope, because if you found this video, you are probably in pain too. And I am so sorry from the bottom of my heart. I know how much it sucks to be in this place. It can feel hopeless and it can feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but I'm here to share with you my story to say there is a chance, and there is a big chance you can get out of pain. So first of all, I am not a medical provider. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physical therapist. This is just my experience. I am not offering you medical advice saying if you do this, then you will fix your problem. I'm just sharing with you my personal experience in hopes that you can get some takeaways from it. I am going to go over my story with you, and then I'm going to tell you some suggestions for steps you can take to help get the professional help you need, and then show you a few stretches that have helped me. So first of all, what is a herniated or bulged disc? I'm not even sure that doctors explain this to their patients. Hopefully they do, but basically our spine has vertebrae in it. Those are the little bulgy bits that you can feel if you run your finger down your spine. They're the bumps. Between those vertebrae, there's discs, and we can think of these as jelly donuts. When a disc bulges, gets pressed, and the sides of the jelly donut kind of bulge out, and they press on the nerves. Or when they herniate, that jelly donut actually rips, and the jelly spills out, and then that spillage causes the pain. And the nerve pain can happen in the lower back, or it can radiate out because your nerves run through your body. They go from the spine and they go all the way to the fingers and toes. So depending on where that vertebrae that disc that has been injured is located, that's where your pain is going to radiate out from. If you're curious where you might be experiencing pain from, look up a dermatome chart. That is something that's going to show you, depending on where the disc bulges, where you're going to feel the pain. So both of these are bad. The disc bulge is better than the disc herniation. Just for some reference, I experienced both. And then, so that is what a disc bulge or herniation is. So in July of 2019, I got a disc bulge. I was exercising. I was just doing something I hadn't done before, and all of a sudden, mid-workout, my back hurts. If you know anything about exercise and pain, you know you don't want to have it mid-workout. That's bad. So I go home, I ice, I heat, I massage, I stretch, I yoga, do all the things. It's not feeling better for a few weeks. So I'm doing my normal routine with the gym, just kind of bearing through the pain, and it's getting worse. So I go to see my physical therapist, and he suspects it might be a disc bulge. Says, you got to go to a doctor. So after a few weeks of physical therapy, I go to an orthopedic doctor. She diagnoses me with a likely L4, L5 disc bulge. I go on my way back to physical therapy. We do the exercises for a few months. I go to PT twice a week for a few months. I'm the best physical therapist in the world, but I wasn't checking my ego. I was going to physical therapy, and then I was going home and doing the workouts I was used to doing, not doing my exercises, and saying, why the heck am I getting worse? Well, I was getting worse because I wasn't giving myself a break. Crazy, right? So after a couple months of that, I'm not getting better. The doctor says, you got to come in for an MRI. We're going to confirm the problem and then come up with a course of action from there. So I get the MRI. We confirm it's a L4, L5 bulge, but I got to go back to physical therapy. So I go. Again, still not checking my ego. Things are getting a little better. The kind of journey is up and down. We got good days and we have bad days. You have a good day, you feel great. Then you do the things you used to do, and all of a sudden you feel worse again because the inflammation hasn't had a chance to go away. You're not able to tolerate good physical therapy. So the physical therapist says, you got to go to a spine specialist. I go to a spine specialist. He says, got to get a cortisone shot. But he also tells me that I shouldn't expect to ever live the life I used to live. And that was heartbreaking to me. I wanted to punch the guy. I hated hearing that. He basically laughed at me, said it was people like me, trainers, who hurt people, clients, and themselves, and keep them in business. That stupid things like deadlifting and squatting and lifting weights are the reason that people get hurt, and you shouldn't ever do it. And the only chance I had at living a pain-free life was to get my shot from him, a cortisone shot, and then to lift perfectly. Never flex the spine ever again. Flexing is when we lean forward. We do it like 100 times a day without thinking. Never just twist and reach and grab something. Like I couldn't just lift over and pick up my notes right here for this video. That would be wrong. That I shouldn't ever lift weights again. That I shouldn't ever expect to do anything that I used to do. And if I wanted to exercise, I should do 20 minutes on the elliptical. Now, if you're watching this video, you know I'm not about to go do 20 minutes on the elliptical and call that a workout. None of you are. But I did agree that from what he said, a cortisone shot was going to help. Basically, a cortisone shot is a steroid injection. Steroids reduce inflammation. So he's going to put this long needle with steroids right into the discs that have the bulging, or actually, I've progressed to a herniated disc at this point. I hurt myself even more. New MRI, new result. Going to put it into the herniated disc. That steroid is going to shrink the inflammation, and then I'm going to be able to tolerate more physical therapy. So I think this was in December, and we make the appointment for the injection in February. And I say, I'm going to be a new woman. I'm going to change my ways. I'm going to do the physical therapy better leading up to it. The doctor tells me also to start taking an oral anti-inflammatory, naproxen or Aleve, every day, 3 times a day, get that swelling down. Previously, I'd take it, I'd feel better, I'd stop taking it. Well, the problem is the swelling would come back. So you got to keep taking it to keep the swelling down. So I take my medicine, I go to physical therapy, and I do the physical therapy at home every single day, and I'm actually starting to feel a lot better. It's like, wow, if you just do the steps and listen to the professionals, things actually improve. Checked my ego, stopped doing things I wasn't supposed to do. And then I also started getting K-tape or kinesiology tape, that like thick, dark, bright or black tape you'll see on athletes' bodies. My physical therapist started taping my back. It helped to relieve some of the pressure, bring blood flow to the area, and bring down the inflammation as well. And I'm able to start tolerating more aggressive physical therapy. I'm really starting to feel better. I wanted to go into that shot with my best chances of success. So I go to get the shot. Doctor says, wait about 2 weeks afterwards before you move again until you start feeling positive results, until the pain starts going down. 2 weeks pass and I do start to feel a little better. 3 weeks pass, start to feel a lot better. I'm able to tolerate a lot more physical therapy. 3 months pass, I've checked my ego, I've stopped doing the things I wanted to do. I have just been focusing on my recovery and I'm feeling pretty good. I have pain less days than I don't. You know, I'm out of pain more days than I'm in pain. And that was a really big revelation for me. So about 3 months after my shot, I should also mention it's COVID. I'm in quarantine, I'm home. That was a blessing. I was able to stop moving around. The moving around so much as a trainer was causing that pain to continue to get worse. You really need to lay off a lot of your movement as you're healing. Or at least I did. I needed to lay off a lot of my movement to heal because I was handing people weights all day, every day. So about 3 months after my shot, my physical therapist says we can start lifting weights again. I was doing 25-pound deadlifts for 5 reps, 2 sets. When I tell you, you need to check your ego as you heal and take tiny step by step movements, tiny steps towards the finish line, it is slow. I did this for months, adding like 2-3 pounds at a time, like 1 rep at a time extra. I used to be able to deadlift 200 pounds. I could do 100-pound kettlebell swings. I'm there with my 18-pound kettlebell saying, I don't know, this might be too heavy because the spine is still healing. The core needs to get stronger. Everything needs to continue. You need to really protect that area that was so inflamed to keep the inflammation down. But then one day, about 6 months after the shot, I'm not in pain anymore. No more pain. The physical therapy can slow down, and I'm able to start getting back to more of my regular workouts. I focused on core, lower back strengthening, hip strengthening, anything that was going to support this whole lumbar area that was subject to so much pain for so long. And then about 6 months after the shot, I was deadlifting my own body weight again. 8 months after the shot. And had I actually started listening to people sooner, probably would have been 8 months after the initial injury, not a year and 8 months after the injury or whatever it was. So if you made it this far, thank you for listening. That's my journey. That is how I got to where I am today, pain-free. It's been about a year since my shot. I don't think I need another one, at least not anytime soon. And if you are in pain, first of all, go see a doctor if you haven't yet. You need to go see a doctor, you need a diagnosis, and then you need a physical therapist. If you're located in New York, check out my physical therapist, Movement Physical Therapy, with Dr. Mark Lusk. He is amazing. He is going to be your biggest advocate. You need somebody with experience in spine injuries and herniated discs, and who is experienced in helping athletic people who like to move heal. You need somebody in your corner who wants you to heal and wants you to get back to the life you used to live. You don't want somebody telling you you're not going to be able to get back to that life. I had that doctor, and it took everything in me to not just listen to him and throw it all out. Don't let that happen to you. Next, keep a positive attitude. That should probably be number one. If you are so depressed and so unmotivated and in so much pain that you can't get off the couch, you're never going to get out of pain. That's just going to be the people who say they've been in pain for years and just can't do anything about it are the people who aren't taking the right steps to get out of pain most of the time, right? This is a difficult injury to heal, but if you let your emotions get the best of you, if you let yourself just succumb to the pain, nothing's ever going to change. So you've got to be positive, proactive, and keep fighting for yourself, keep advocating for yourself, keep looking for the doctor who's going to help you get the treatment you need, and then get those people in your corner and stick with them until you're out of pain. So whether you need to make appointments with doctors, get insurance approvals, whatever it is, start getting those balls in motion. And then check your ego. You got to check your ego, and you got to do the work. You need to do the exercises every single day. You got to stop doing the exercises, the physical therapy exercises. You've got to stop doing the things that give you pain. If it hurts you, stop it. You got to modify things. It's going to take some time, take some patience, but you've got to do the best you can to keep yourself out of pain. Listen to your doctors, listen to your physical therapists, and do the things they say consistently. For months, even if you don't see a change at first, you really need to stick with it. It can take 2 months of physical therapy before you start seeing positive changes. And then one day, it's going to start to feel better. Lastly, you can just start doing some very generic lower back strengthening exercises at home, like glute bridging. And then I would suggest looking up the McKenzie Stretches. Dr. McKenzie is a physical therapist, I believe, who has a series of yoga poses, mostly involving up dog, that's back extension, or the cobra pose if you're familiar with it. And those can actually help bring your pain down immediately. If your disc is bulging, like back towards the back side of your body, it's popping out. When you do that back extension, it helps to pull it back in, and it can temporarily, at least, immediately relieve your pain. That is what I do if I get into pain. I lay on the floor and I do my up dogs, and that can be really helpful. So look up Dr. McKenzie Stretches. I've typed that in the notes below as well for you. So those are the things that I would suggest doing to get out of pain. Those are the steps you could start to explore to help get out of pain. But I really hope that you have success. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I will get back to you. Again, I'm not a doctor. This is just my experience and the steps that I took to get out of pain, and just seeking medical help and being consistent with doing what you're told is going to go so far. I wish you a pain-free future. Bye-bye.